What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again today with a video directly after the Bufflin video, which should have been posted on Tuesday. I do believe it has gone up by now. So, filming this about a couple hours afterward. We're doing a career video, another one of the last Atlanta Thrashers. Andrew Ladd, 4th overall pick in 2004. Definitely not as good as a draft as 2003, but Ladd did play a long time in the NHL, a combined 16 seasons, and then if you include AHL in there and other stuff, like a lockout shortened season. He might have had even 18, 19 years. Before his career even gets started, in 2005 he wins a World Championship gold with Team Canada, and so he's off to a pretty good start internationally. That would be the only thing he'd win internationally, but that doesn't matter because he won in the NHL too. 2005-06 with the Hurricanes. He plays, so he's drafted 4th overall by the Hurricanes in 2004, makes his debut in 2005-06. Big year for Carolina. He plays 29 games, 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points. And in the playoffs, he plays 17 games, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. And guess what? Stanley Cup champion in his rookie year. What a lucky guy, Andrew Ladd. First a gold medal and now a Stanley Cup. He's looking at veterans and saying, this is too easy. 2006-2007, 65 games played, 11 goals, 10 assists, 21 points. So not for a 4th overall pick, these aren't the kind of totals you want to see being put up. Ladd would never really live up to that 4th overall pick, but his longevity would kind of make him still like a good for middle of the first round pick, I'd say. Carolina, that was a one-year wonder. They don't make the playoffs that year. 2007-08, he plays 43 games, 9 goals, 9 assists, 18 points, and things are just not working. He wouldn't play in the playoffs with Carolina because he was traded, and Carolina didn't make the playoffs either. He's traded to Chicago on February 26, 2008 for Tumo Ruutu, 1-for-1. And Chicago looks back on this trade and laughs. 2007-08 with the Hawks then, 20 games played, so he ends up playing 63 games that year, 5 goals, 7 assists, 12 points in the remaining 20 games he plays. So he ends up getting 30 points that year, 14 goals, 16 assists, but Chicago does not make the playoffs that year. 2008-2009, 82 games played. His Ladd is now a full-time member of the Hawks. 15 goals, 34 assists, 49 points. 17 games played in the playoffs. 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points, including the OT winner in Game 4 against the Vancouver Canucks in the second round of that year's playoffs. He had a deflection, Bolin shot at the net. Ladd was there, deflects it right in, and the Hawks tie the series with that game. 2009-10, 82 games played, 17 goals, 21 assists, 38 points. So he drops off by 11 points. He had 49 points the year before. He drops to 38. However, in the playoffs, 19 games, 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points. Ladd has got 2 Stanley Cups now. A gold medal and 2 Stanley Cups by your mid to late 20s is not too bad. But unfortunately, since Ladd was playing lower down in the lineup, since the Hawks had so much talent up front, you had Taves, Kane, Bufflin, Sharp, Hossa, and whoever you want to put in that second line center spot, whether it was Ladd, whether it was Brouwer. I know Ladd was playing up on the second line during those final games of the 2010 playoffs. He was on that line with Sharp and Kane that was on the ice when they scored the goal. He's one of the only guys that saw the puck go in the net, I believe. But he's traded on July 1st, 2010. It's because of the salary cap issue. Chicago receives a 2011 second-round pick, which would become Adam Clendening, and Ivan Wisniewski, which I didn't even know was a Blackhawk at any point. And Atlanta just gets Andrew Ladd. Pretty good player to get for what they got in return. 81 games played then with Atlanta, 29 goals, 30 assists, 59 points. It clicks because in Atlanta, he's one of the best players there. He's a first-line player. That's why they named him captain a month into the season. And it shows you how a deep team could be holding some players back. Because Chicago, you can see 38 points, 49. He had 49 points when the year where they didn't have as much there. They didn't have Hossa yet. But then you bring in 2009, 2010, you have Hossa's added to the lineup. You bring in guys like John Madden, Thomas Kopecky. He slots a little farther down, more a third-line player, and his point total drops. When you put him on the first line, he just skyrockets. That skyrockets in this scenario, but does well. But Atlanta does not make the playoffs because that's what Atlanta does, and that's their last year in Atlanta. 2011-2012, 82 games played for Ladd, 28 goals, 22 assists, 50 points. So 2 near 30-goal seasons for Ladd there. He never hit 30 goals, I don't think. No, he did not. But no playoffs for Winnipeg that year. 2012-13, 48 games played. So he plays the full season, and he has the best season of his career statistically. 18 goals, 28 assists, 46 points in 48 games. If Ladd had kept this up, who knows how many points he could have had. This would have been his career high year easily. And no playoffs for Winnipeg that year. 2013-14, 78 games played, 23 goals, 31 assists, 54 points, and no playoffs for Winnipeg once again. 2014-15, 81 games played, of 24 goals, 38 assists, 62 points, and ring ding ding. That's your career high for Andrew Ladd right there. That Winnipeg does make the playoffs. 4 games played because they're swept by Anaheim. No goals, 1 assist, 1 point. I talked about it a bit in the Buffalo video. It's like Winnipeg has finally made it. They're a second wild card, but they're finally here, and they're gone. Yeah, that was kind of sad. But Ladd has been the captain now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going on 6 years, because in 2015-16 he starts the season with Winnipeg. 59 games played, 17 goals, 17 assists, 34 points. Doesn't go to the playoffs that year because A, Winnipeg doesn't make the playoffs, and B, he's traded at the trade deadline. On February 25th, 2016, the Chicago Blackhawks reacquire Andrew Ladd along with Matt Fraser and Jay Harrison. No clue who they are. Going to Winnipeg was a 2016 first-round pick, which would be traded to Philadelphia, which would become German Rubtsov. Nice one, Philadelphia. And Mark O'Donoghue, who I think I should do a career video on, to be honest. It would be a short one, but I don't really know where. He seems to be everywhere. But anyway, the remaining time with Chicago in 2015-16, 19 games, 8 goals, 4 assists, 12 points. So he ends up with about 46 points and 25 goals. Not bad. 7 games played in the playoffs as Chicago tries to recreate magic from 2010 with old players. Does not work that year. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points in 7 games as the Hawks go down to the Blues that year. 2016-17, before the season, he's a free agent. The Hawks don't re-sign him. He becomes a free agent on July 1st, and on July 1st, he is signed by the New York Islanders to a 7-year, $38.5 million deal, and this is where his reputation kind of tanks. He's already an older player by this point. He's already had 10, 11, what would have been 11 years in the league. So he's drafted in 2004. It's been 12 years since his draft year, and you're giving a guy who's probably on the back end of his career, and along with his physical style. Ladd was a checking guy, more of a defensive forward than an offensive, but he had offensive upside, you can see here. He plays 78 games that first year with the Islanders, 23 goals, which isn't bad, but only 8 assists for 31 points as the Islanders failed to clinch the playoffs. It only goes down from there. 2017-18, he plays 73 games played, 12 goals, 17 assists, 29 points, as the offense really started to fall off, and the risk that signing that deal was 7 years for around $5.5 million per year, I believe. It's not paying off. It only gets worse. 2018-19, he plays 26 games, 3 goals, 8 assists, 11 points, and then he has a torn ACL, and he's done for the rest of the season. He will not play with the Islanders in the playoffs that year. And then 2019-20, he only plays 4 games, 1 goal, no assist, 1 point, and he's called up for 1 playoff game because he spends a lot of the season in the AHL with the Bridgeport Sound Tigers. 1 game played in the playoffs, no goals, no assists, no points. 2021, the 2020-21 season, he spends the entirety of it in the American Hockey League in the AHL with the Bridgeport Sound Tigers. I don't think they were the Bridgeport Islanders yet. I really don't remember. But you see, Ladd is no longer an NHL regular. But however, in 2021-22, he gets another chance. Because on July 17th, 2021, the Islanders, in need of some desperate cap space, trade Andrew Ladd's contract to the Arizona Coyotes along with a 2022 second-round pick, a 2023 third-round pick, a 2021 second-round pick, which would become J.J. Moser, who's a pretty good player for Arizona right now. And, so Ladd goes to an Arizona team that's young. They're rebuilding. They're young. It's recently now. And kind of a mentor to these guys like Clayton Keller here, who are going to have the reins handed to them and already have been handed to him, essentially. He plays 51 games, 7 goals, 5 assists, 12 points, and he gets a knee injury, and so his season is done. He does not play in the playoffs that year, and then for 2022-23, the last year of his contract, he would stay on injured reserve as he would not play another game. And so Ladd, he retired 2 days ago now, September 10th, 2023. And let's look at his career stats. Total, 1,001 games. Getting traded to Arizona got him over the 1,000 game mark, so good for him. Getting him traded to Arizona got him over 250 goals, as he has 256. And then he has 294 assists, 550 points. Not a bad NHL career, over half a point per game. In the playoffs, 65 games played, 9 goals, 9 assists, 18 points, along with 2 Stanley Cups. So there you have it, folks. The career of Andrew Ladd. And now we're only missing one of the Thrashers that got sent. Maybe I'll probably do a career video on Brent Sopel eventually, whenever that is. I've got a list of guys I still want to do. I got 3 off the top of my head where I'm not going to spoil them yet. But be on the lookout for some more career videos. And then, as I said in the previous video with Dustin Byfuglien's career, look out for the soon-to-be standing predictions for the 4 divisions. Preseason power rankings will happen during or a little bit after preseason, in between that period before the regular season, as well as look out for the Blackhawks season preview. I'll get more into that during the preseason. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. This video should be going up on Thursday, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Goodbye.